The Clemson Tigers are very, very good historically, but a tough campaign last year, going 10-3 overall, which anyone would kill to have. But when you're Dabo Swinney and you're on the college football stage in the spotlight, doesn't look good. How can they improve and get better and get back on top of college football? Let's take a look at the Clemson Tigers as we get into some ACC previews in 2022. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a quick video today. Before we get into it, do me a favor, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel out. Even if you don't care too much about this video, at least hit that thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithms and analytics and everything. Really means a lot. We're on the road to 700 subscribers, slowly working our way there, but we're making great progress. This is a great community. This is a great channel. I love each and every one of you guys out there. That being said, let's take a look at Clemson from last year before we dive into what they got coming back and coming in this year. So 2021 Clemson 10-3 overall. And it kind of came as a surprise. I think a lot of people were very high on DJ being a Heisman favorite, him and Bryce Young going into the season. Of course, Bryce Young won the Heisman, but DJ Clemson had the best starts and a good finish. It just was so weird to see them take some bumps in the road. I mean, I say the best start. They did lose to Georgia, who was the ultimate national champion this season. You beat teams like SC State, South Carolina State, Georgia Tech. That's expected. I don't understand a 14-8 victory over the Yellow Jackets, though. You lose a tough one to the NC State Wolfpack, but you bounce back and you beat Boston College, you beat Syracuse, so many close wins in the ACC. And at first, I thought maybe outside of that Georgia Tech game, you would think this, right? Here, let me give you a picture of how it was to watch the Clemson season. Okay, lose to Georgia, no big deal. Blow out SC State, who cares? It's a nobody team. You blow them out. Georgia Tech, you struggle with them. Okay, is Georgia Tech going to be good? I don't know. Oh, you took a loss to NC State? Tough road loss. I don't know what to tell you. Probably out of the playoffs. And you start to see these games like Boston College or Syracuse, these close wins. And maybe to an extent you think that maybe the ACC is getting good. Or what really happened is that Clemson failed to find an offensive line to protect the quarterback, and they couldn't get the coaching down. Tony Elliott, who's now the head coach of Virginia with the Cavaliers, and Brent Venables on the defensive side. The defense I thought was spectacular. I thought the offense, until halfway through the season, could not get it going, right? They lost to Pitt by 10. They lost to NC State. They lost to Georgia. They struggled against Syracuse. They struggled against Louisville. They beat Florida State by 10, I guess is pretty good. You handled UConn. You handle Wake Forest, who won, or was it Wake? I think Wake won the ACC. Yeah. Anyway, and you shut out South Carolina. Then you make the Cheez-It Bowl. You win 20-13. Here's the thing. It was a down year for Clemson, and Clemson fans will sit there and tell you, don't worry, we'll be back on the big stage this next season. I agree to a certain extent. I like Clemson as a playoff team this year, and I'll tell you that I think that they had a bunch of injuries that held them back. Guys should come back healthy. They had a lot of young talent and inexperience, much like Alabama. Only difference is Alabama knew how to handle it, right? They made it to the national title game. I credit Georgia, right? Coaching, especially, I think, held Clemson back. right? Especially on the offensive side with Tony Elliott. That was something that was so weird, right? Like literally, I think the only guy that came back and had a little bit of experience because of 2020 and COVID and having to take over for Trevor Lawrence, I think the only guy that knew what to do was DJ Uyunglele, right? Which I've gotten so used to saying that, by the way. I don't know where to start with this, right? O-line issues need to get fixed. You got a new offensive coordinator in Brandon Streeter, a new defensive coordinator in Wes Goodwin. Is it possible that Cade Klubnik comes in to replace DJ? If we find out, and we're going to find out, right? And let's go ahead and pull up real quick their 2022 schedule. We're going to find out about DJ really quick to start the season. Because if it's the defense that struggles, that's one thing. If they open up at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, I'm sorry, is always below 500, it seems like. They're one of the worst teams in the program. They're one of the worst teams in the ACC, in the country. That's fair. Okay? If right out the gate, you can't hang at minimum. I'm going to put this on you, Clemson. If you struggle at offense, 9 times out of 10, look, you got to put it on the leader. It is a quarterback's job to get it together, find his receivers, step it up, right? It is a great possibility. And I say it like that. I don't know why I say it's a great possibility, but it's a possibility that Cade Klubnik could come in and replace DJ if things are not going right. At Georgia Tech, Furman, Louisiana Tech, at Wake Forest, NC State, at Boston College, at Florida State. Then you get your homecoming game against Syracuse. You get a bye week. You play at Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, and then South Carolina. I think with those first 3 games, if you don't have the offense going, and I'm not saying it's got to be 50 or 40 points a game, but you can't have a close game against Georgia Tech, Furman, or Louisiana Tech. Now, Louisiana Tech, I will say, has had some killer teams. They're not bad. If they give you a tough game, but you're blowing out like 56-7, Georgia Tech and Furman, I might look at Louisiana Tech, and in my point of view, I'm like, okay, maybe that's Tech this year. Maybe they're that good. And we'll see what they do. But I really think, and I know it's crazy, but because of how the offense struggled in 2021, the early test, I think, is to see how it is just against the lesser tier opponents, honestly, especially some like Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's at the bottom of the ACC 9 times out of 10 with teams like Duke. You open at Georgia Tech, you play Furman, you play Louisiana Tech, go to Wake Forest, NC State, at Boston College, Florida State, Syracuse, bye week, which I think is perfect timing for that trip to Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, South Carolina, and then possibly the ACC championship. I like Clemson to get back this year. I personally like it. But don't take my word for it. Okay, you can if you want to, but maybe I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, sue me over it. I don't know what to tell you. There's no excuses. Clemson's got to get back to the college football playoff. They got to get back to winning the ACC. They want to and need to get back to that level of saying we're still one of those top-tier programs alongside the Crimson Tide of Alabama, alongside Georgia, alongside teams like Ohio State. They got to get back to that dominance. At some point, they have to. Any trap games in here? Honestly, I see 3 trap games, and this is assuming that they're favored in these games. I would watch out. I didn't put it on here, but I'm going to point it out anyway. It is a Monday night game in Atlanta. It's a kickoff. I'd be careful a little bit about Georgia Tech and what they could do in the first week of the season. And I only say that because I want to give credit to every team where it's due when I say you never know until you see them play. But outside of that, at Wake Forest, NC State, and Notre Dame, I would put I know I only put those three. I'd be a little concerned about Florida State too, maybe Boston College, just because you have back-to-back road games right there. That's always tough for teams, not even just in the ACC. So don't think I'm ripping on them. I think in college football, back-to-back road games in your conference is really, really tough. Syracuse is your homecoming game. They've played some close games against you before. They beat you in 2017. They've had your number a little bit, had you on the ropes at home the year after or so. You get a bye week, which is perfect timing, like I mentioned before. At Notre Dame could be a trap game. If Clemson's favored, why not? Even with Marcus Freeman as a first-year head coach, and I haven't looked at Notre Dame yet, but I'll get to them. In fact, I might even do them next. I don't know where to count them. I guess I could count them with the ACC. I don't know, but we'll look at Notre Dame at some point pretty soon, and we'll get a good look at and maybe get a feel for this Clemson game. Louisville, I think Louisville's on a struggle climb, like a really slow climb. I think they're going in the right direction in some ways. I still think Clemson could be miles ahead. Honestly, here's how I feel. I think after the bye week, I think by November, you're going to see a different Clemson team than you saw at the start, right? Regardless of who the quarterback is, it might be DJ or if Cade Klubnik has to come in. I expect to see a dominant Clemson team by mid-October. Mid to late October, honestly. I think maybe it takes them a little while to get clicking, get going. But you could see some really good things, right? And Brandon Streeter's going to figure some stuff out for the quarterback and DJ Uyunglele, or again, if it could be Cade Klubnik. Miami, my friend Chess Hall picked Miami to win the ACC. I kind of agree. I think, Miami for the Coastal. Yeah. I think Clemson or Miami or whoever. I think you could get Clemson, Miami for the ACC title. And maybe 2 weeks after this game in Clemson, is it a rematch? Is it revenge? Which would you rather lose, Clemson? The Miami game in the regular season or lose to them in the ACC title? Take your pick. South Carolina, too. I expect them to beat South Carolina. I like Shane Beamer. I like what Shane Beamer brings in. I'd be careful at that game, though. It's a rivalry game. That could be a trap. I didn't put on here, but there's a couple different head-scratching games, a couple different games that are coin flips, a couple different games that are just like okay, Furman, you should blow them out. Georgia Tech, I still think, is down in the gutter just a little bit. Clemson should take care of them. Louisiana Tech has had some good teams, as I mentioned before. I don't want to sit there and say they're nobody. I don't want to sit there and say they're not a good program or a good team. They're really, really good. But it being at home, I expect Clemson to handle non-conference games pretty well. When you get into conference play, especially with some tough ones with back-to-back games here that are both on the road and no bye week in between, that's where it gets kind of tough and interesting. Florida State could be a trap game. Boston College could be. I think any ACC game for Clemson right now could be a trap. I just didn't want to list every single game like crazy, but I think the main go-to games that are traps could be NC State, Notre Dame, and Wake Forest. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and give my record prediction. I know I've kind of said some things in this video to maybe make you guys think that I'm not high. That's not true. I'm very, very high on them. I expect them to win the conference. I expect them to maybe even make it to the college football playoff and then some. Who knows? I don't think they're a team to win it all, but at some point they got to get back to the college football playoff. I know it's weird to say that because there's only been 1 year where they missed it this past year, but I don't think they're years and years away from getting back. I think they're back now. I think they could be. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and just say they go 11-1, and if I do give them a loss, honestly, I'm going to give them the Notre Dame game. I think now that being said, it wouldn't surprise me if they drop a game like Wake or whoever along the way. If Syracuse, like they're not gonna blow these teams out, but they're gonna play some close ones, and they're gonna have some close calls. But I think they'll be good enough that the defense could get the job done at the end. I expect their defense with Brian Breesy and everybody to just be lights out and dominant. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I expect DJ, Dabo, and the Tigers to get some good things taken care of in 2022. Anyway, that being said, that's going to do it for me here. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media checking out. Love y'all. Jesus loves you. Comment your record predictions for Clemson down below, and we'll see you next time. Roll Tide.